Okay, good morning from St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's see what's going on in the world. It is September 6th, 2014. It is 10:56 a.m. and all is well here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We hope wherever you're at, you're having a good Saturday morning. Saturday is should be a good day for a lot of people starting their weekend. No work. They don't have to work. If you're one of those 9 to 5ers that do 5 days a week, I think those days are gone. I don't think anybody does 9 to 5 anymore, 5 days a week. It's been some time. I remember when they went to the 4 day work week, 4 10s. And I don't know if it's like that now, but a lot of the people that I see who go to work almost every day, uh, they don't hardly do 8 hours a day, and they don't do 4 10s. It's just one of the things that the companies have figured out a way to, I guess because it's a law that they have to pay overtime. They don't. They mess around with your hours. They make sure that you don't get more than 40 because it's a law. I don't know if it's a federal law, but it is a law that they have to pay time and a half overtime, anything after what used to be considered 40 hours. That's a full-time job. It may have changed to 30 something hours. I don't know. I haven't been in the work market for a long time. But, I don't see anybody really working regular schedules anymore. But for those that do, 9 to 5 and get the weekends off, it's Saturday, and the sun is shining here in St. Petersburg, Florida. And the fall is in the air. I was talking to Tokyo One just for a bit this morning, and he was saying that it was 70 degrees where he's at, and he is inland Japan, which means I guess he's in the middle of Japan somewhere, and it was 70 degrees. And then I checked our weather, and it was 77 in Tokyo. So apparently Tokyo is along the coast, and Tokyo One is inland where it's only 70 degrees. I didn't know that Tokyo had the crazy weather that it has. I always pictured Japan as being like Hawaii, kind of like a tropical paradise. But they've got high mountains and snow, so they've got some crazy weather there. And I was also watching a documentary. They've got some, crazy animals, and well, not crazy, but beautiful animals and bugs and plants and stuff in Japan. So let me see what's going on here in St. Petersburg. Let's bring up St. Petersburg and let you have a little look. And let me go ahead. This is the full page. We'll zoom in a little bit and just let you have a look at our beautiful view here in
It's
St.
11
Petersburg.
o'clock.
This is the waterfront, what they call the waterfront, where they park their boats and airplanes and stuff here in St. Petersburg. And that's the pier that they just scanned by, and they're last I heard they want to knock it down and build even a better one, and I seen the plans, and it's going to be beautiful. The downside, it's going to take a long time to build it, a few years, but it's going to be nice. I seen the plans. They had the plans on TV, and they were showing how beautiful it was going to be. So let's have a look, street view look of downtown St. Petersburg. And this area here is at 1/4th Street North. And it's along Central Avenue. And as you can see, they have a nice camera there, nice and clear. I hope your computer is showing it as clear as I see it, because, it's just clear. A beautiful day here in St. Petersburg. Yesterday we were coming home from some of the things that we had to do yesterday. And as we drove by one of our neighbors, which is called Biff's Burgers, They had an auto show. They had a bunch of old cars. So I'm going to try to get out in a little bit, and I'll take my computer with me, and we'll fire up the old van, and that's what I like to call the Stars Mobile, because we're able to plug our computers in and keep them charged. It's got a plug-in where we can do AC stuff, so it's nice and comfortable. We can maybe they'll let us broadcast live from Biff Burgers, where they're doing showing old cars. That's one of the many things I should say that I like about St. Petersburg, Florida, is all of the stuff. I talked about it one day because Florida, the part that we live in, is there's a lot of older people here. But I mean older, I mean 80, 90, years old, walking around and driving sports cars and Harley Davidsons and probably some of these old cars. We're going to find out. But it's an older community, and there's young people here. But I'd say just by guessing that most of the people here are 50 and up, and if you're in your 50s, you probably own a business, and that's how you're surviving until you get into your retirement years. But a lot of older people here. But I see younger ones. I live on a busy street. We get quite a bit of traffic, foot traffic, as well as cars and trucks and whatnot, buses and stuff going in front of our house. And we get the rush hour in the morning and in the evening. But throughout the day, it's light traffic, about what you're seeing right here on screen. And we get some foot traffic. Our house doesn't have a sidewalk in front, so the grass goes right to the street. But it's a pretty busy boulevard, about what you're seeing right here where this bus is going by and these cars. We got about that kind of traffic, normal traffic throughout the day, about this right here. And I see a lot of young people, maybe in their 20s, walking around. You don't see too many little kids, 12, 13-year-olds like that. You don't see too many, and in a way that's a good thing, but young people are our future in the country. But in Florida and in St. Petersburg, not so much. This is where you come to retire. So by the time you get here, you're done raising your kids, and in most cases your kids have kids. You're probably already a great grandparent. This guy's going backwards on that street. Look at it. He's got to find a parking spot. There he goes. Yeah, he was going backwards. You can do that. Here in Florida, if you do and somebody catches up to you, sometimes it's not as friendly as you would think. I don't know why. Maybe it's the altitude. I don't know. Maybe it's because people know that you can carry a gun, and many do. So they're kind of testy, hey, jack with me and I'll shoot you. I don't know exactly what the attitude is here, and why some people are cranky like that. Not all people. Some people will, if you're backing up trying to do something, they'll back up and get out of your way and wave at you, and then wave at you when they leave. And not all people are like that. You got the tourists that come here and they don't know what the hell they're doing anyway, so whatever's going on, they'll just join in. If everybody's backing up, they'll back up. They'll figure there's a reason for it, and if there's a line, they'll get in it. That's the way the tourists are here in Florida. They're here to have a good time. They're not here to change the world. They're not here to make your day bad. They're here to have a good time. They're going to enjoy the ocean or the Gulf. They're going to see all our little shops that we have in St. Petersburg and throughout Florida, and eat some food and buy stuff to take home to their families, and they're going to stop into the bars and get all drunk. You'll see them walking down the streets with a beer, where because every day in Florida it's a festival, and so a lot of people are very, very happy. They just spent $10,000 to come and stay here a week. Then they go back and they work the other 51 weeks out of the year, whatever they do to make $10,000 to come and spend it here. And in our area, which is cool, because life ain't always about what's wrong with the world. It's not always about, okay, well, they're fighting over in Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran or Iraq, whatever. It's not about that every day. I'm not saying that you should put your head in the sand and not say that these things exist, ISIS or ISIL or Hamas or, whoever. We've got terrorists right here in the United States we've got to worry about. We got to worry about the crazy right Christians that want everybody to worship their God, and if you don't, they're going to kill you. If you are involved in abortions, they'll kill your doctor. And there's terrorists here in the United States. We don't have to travel abroad to find terrorists. There's terrorists right here on the internet. They do cyber terrorism. They'll threaten you with their words. They'll scare people off the web. They'll try to get you to think what they're thinking. Bring attention to their cause and then try to draw you in. There's terrorism everywhere. So anytime you can find, a little good, and that's what you should be looking for anyway, is a little good, something fun, something nice happening. And that's just my opinion. I mean, if you want to be miserable and you're happy being miserable and you're happy finding all of these messed up things in the world, go for it. Somebody's got to do it, I guess. Somebody's got to find how messed up the world is, I guess. Personally, I claim to be a witness. I was talking to somebody in one of our channels this morning, and his name was Omar, and he is in one of the new channels that we added the other day. And what I do every morning, I go into the channels that I took some channels off because I couldn't even go in and wish the chatters good morning and tell them that they're on our site. We aren't trying to take people away from their channels. That isn't what our site does. As a matter of fact, it does just the opposite. It gives them more exposure. But some people with young minds, or old selfish people that think that somebody is there to take what little they have away from them, think that that's what we're doing, and then they comment before they even come to the site and see that that's not what we're doing. We try to bring them to the site so that they can meet other people if they want to. They can still stay in their channel, but we're not trying to take their chatters or their viewers or their company or whatever you want to call them away from them. So Omar, in our latest channel, and I'll bring it up here in a little bit, said I was wasting my time going in there and wishing them good morning and dropping a link to the page that they're on. That's like going to all of the channels without having a site like artstarzz.com and dropping the link to their channel in all of these channels individually like that. Opening up a new page every time to a new channel and then dropping a link to their channel in that channel. That's what it would be like if we didn't have artstarzz.com. So I told him, and it was simple enough to me. I told him, if you own this channel and if you think I'm wasting my time here, I can take the channel off of our site if you own the channel. And I explained to him that I'm a witness. And he asked me, do I even know anything about this channel? And I said, no, I don't. I don't know anything about it. First of all, I just added it. Second of all, I don't want to know everything about everybody. I'll see some things, I'll look at it, if I feel like commenting on it, I will. But I'm not going to join anything. I made it very clear. I have a country. I have my own problems. I'm just witnessing. And I have your channel on our site so that you can see other things going on instead of just being stuck in your hate or stuck in a position where all you want is for the world to see your world. That is going to get you nowhere. If you're having a conversation with a person and all you want to do is talk and tell them your problems, needless to say, you won't have too many conversations with that person, because every now and then you have to listen to somebody else's problems. And not everybody has problems, and they don't want to talk about problems because they don't have them. So that kind of puts, a damper on a lot of people's lives because they want to tell you how messed up things are. What's happening to them in their country and their world. They want to tell you that, and it's understandable. But you still have to listen to other things. You still have to listen to how good life is for others just because your life is messed up. You have to listen. You can't just talk and complain all of the time. You have to take a break from your bitterness. Or when your problem gets solved, you won't even know it. You will be so entrenched in hate that you will be constantly looking for more hate to replace the hate that just got fixed, that you fought so hard to fix. It gets fixed and you won't even know it because you're so entrenched in that hate that you can't even allow somebody to come and tell you good morning. Because you've got to be smart and say, well, what's so good about it? Well, it's a chat. And it's about chatting. Nobody told me this morning what's so good about it. I was telling them what's so good about it. It's great to wake up in St. Petersburg, Florida. And when we have bad weather here, it's cool to see the bad weather here in St. Petersburg. Because even when the weather's bad, it's warm. You can walk out in the rain here in St. Petersburg and it'll be like a warm shower. And a lot of people do that. You'll see them out walking in the rain. When it starts to rain here, people casually walk to shelter. They don't freak out, oh my God, it's raining, I'm going to get wet. Most of the people are running around here half-dressed anyway. They ain't on the beach with a suit on. Look at this guy in the picture there walking around with his cutoffs and a t-shirt. Do you think we'll start out? Even if you get wet, you'll be dry in 5 minutes. That's the way it is in St. Petersburg, Florida. And that's what I like to share with whoever should watch any of these little videos that I make. Some of the nicer things in the world. There's plenty of people in the chats. There's plenty of people in the chats that are going to tell you how messed up things are where they're at. But I was watching, and I'm going to give a little shout out to Straight from OPN yesterday, who was in her tiny chat, just didn't give a rat's ass what was happening in the world, and she was going to dance, and she showed it on camera. Now you're going to find some asshole come along and say, what are you so happy about? What right do you have to be happy in a world that is messed up as this world is? Well, if you say something that stupid, the chances are you're pretty young. Because this world has been the way it is. I'm 61 years old. And ever since I could remember, this world has been the way it is. Now, if you're 20 years old and you're going to think you're going to come in and tell some older person how messed up this world is, you got another thought coming. Of course, now I could tell you come and talk to me when you're 61, but I'll be dead of old age. That's 41 years later. I'll be 102 years old. I'll be dead. And you'll know what I know. The world is not all bad. It's not far from being all good. But it depends on which side of the fence you want to live on. That's what it depends on. The choices you make. This country is built on immigrants. That's what this country is built on. Everybody knows it. It's old news. I'm not saying anything that's new. The immigrants didn't come here because their country was great. We live in a wonderful country, so we're just going to leave it, and we're going to be Johnny Appleseed, and we're going to go to America, and we're going to show America how great our country is, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go suffer in America, and we're going to show America. That ain't why immigrants come to the United States. Immigrants come to the United States to try to make their life better than the country they left. And that's why I say there's choices. You can stay and fight for your country when the United States gets attacked. Americans don't just pack up and say, oh my God, they're attacking us. Americans don't do that. There are 316 million people in the United States, and it's being reported that there is at least one gun for every American in the United States. One gun. Now, not every American owns a gun in the United States. But when people attack the United States like Pearl Harbor and 9/11, and 9/11 is coming up, when people attack the United States like that, Americans come together. We forget our differences for a minute, and we focus on whoever decided they wanted to attack us. We don't leave our country. We don't start begging other countries to come and help us. Americans aren't like that. Never have been, never will be. We start pulling together. We'll turn this whole damn country into a war machine like we did in World War II if we have to. We were not prepared for World War II when World War II came along. We did not have a war machine. We had to build one. The men went off to war, the women went to the factories, and we built a war machine. Did we want to? Apparently not, because we didn't have it before. We knew about World War I. We knew World War was a possibility. Why didn't we maintain a war machine? From World War I to World War II, why didn't we maintain a war machine? Because we didn't have to. That's why. We didn't have to. A lot of people say you want your economy to grow. You want your economy to be better. Start a war. That's what America does. That's what they think America does. That we start wars so that we can build tanks, because the only way for us to survive is by building tanks and airplanes and bombs and missiles. That's what some people think that we do here in the United States. They think that. And why do they think that? Because they hear it or they read it or somebody tells them that, and they have a narrow mind rather than research it. And now you got the Google. I love when Rachel Maddow says that. She says, check the Google. Rachel Maddow is a good source of information. But we didn't have the war machine. We had to build it. Because Americans didn't say, oh my God, we're under attack, let's all leave the country. They said, bullshit. This is our country. And when you come to our shores, you better be ready for a fight. Because Americans will fight. We fight each other. What makes you think we wouldn't fight some foreign country that decided they were going to attack us? Anybody who has ever attacked the United States, even on the smallest level, like they did in Boston, like one of our own, Timothy McVeigh, did in Oklahoma. The Trade Center was hit twice. That wasn't the first time they hit the Trade Center. It had been hit before. America didn't crumble. It didn't fall. It didn't, say, woe is us. We fought back, and we rebuild. We don't run away from our country. But not every country is like America. We have our own resources. We don't have to deal with other countries if we don't want to. We just do it because we do it. But we don't have to. We could become an island. We have our own oil. We have our own food. We have our own technology. We could do like China and build a wall around the United States and live throughout eternity without ever dealing with another country unless that country decided it wanted to scale our walls and come and damage us. We can close down our bases all around the world and let people like ISIS do whatever they want to. And the American people would never miss a thing. We build our own cars. We make our own clothes. We grow our own food. We produce our own energy. Them are just the things that a country needs. That's all a country really needs. America is self-sufficient. It doesn't need other countries. No matter what the haters say, we don't need another countries. Corporations, they go out and they try to expand. And everybody lately knows that when corporations go to other countries, they hire that labor and they benefit and they don't bring the money home. Kind of like the breadwinner of a household going out and not bringing any money home. Just coming home to eat and shower and rest, but not bringing any money home. Corporations do that. And then they expect the United States to defend them when something like ISIS hits. Next we hear America is under attack. America is not under attack. American corporations that don't even want to pay taxes once they get to another country are under attack. The American people aren't under attack. We have ordinances in most of the big cities of what we can and can't do. You can't just, for example, say you own 5 lots in a neighborhood somewhere. You can't turn them 5 lots into a farm. We have zoning laws. But if we had to, we could. If for some reason our government crumbled and we could no longer depend on it to regulate and do some of the things that it does, if it should crumble, Americans can grow their own food. We have droughts in California and Colorado and places throughout the country that don't have any water. Americans will start catching the water. Should our government crumble? It's not going to happen. Somebody might say never. Well, I say never and then see what happens. Where's the harm? Where's the harm in saying this will never happen? Where's the harm? That's positive thinking if you ask me. So there's a lot of countries out there that can't do what America does. They depend on countries like America to protect them from people like ISIL. ISIL, as President Obama calls them, ISIL. They depend on us to come and help them from terrorists that have organized into the thousands. Hamas, ISIL. And there's other ones. They're in Africa. They're in America. We call them the far right here. Don't think they don't kill. We call them the KKK, skinheads. You know, there's groups, that handle the black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Irish Americans, Italian Americans. They all have their terrorists. And they all have their names. We have them in America. And I could say truthfully, when it comes to terrorists in America, our groups are bigger than ISIL. You think the mafia doesn't terrorize people? You think that the black Muslims don't terrorize people in their communities? They stick to their own communities, just like ISIL is sticking to the Middle East. They stick to their own communities, and then, a lot of times they say, well, we're here to help. We're here to help you. And then they suck the life out of you. Pretty soon that help costs you. You own a shop, a little garment shop or fruit something, and then next thing you know, and it's not just the Italians. You've got some gang somewhere charging you to do business, and they say, well, you have to be protected. But what they didn't know is you have to be protected from them. They are charging you to protect yourself from them. That's terrorism. We have it in the United States. And we have more terrorists in the United States than throughout the world. We just call them something different. You think when the Ku Klux Klan was hanging black people, that wasn't terrorism? That was terrorism. We have it here in the United States. So we understand that some people can't protect themselves and they need help. We understand that. The government, the federal government, understands that. The federal government understands that these groups can slowly come to the United States one at a time and then grow like the mafia did. And nowadays, the mafia doesn't mean just the Italians. There's the Russian mafia, there's the Chinese mafia, there's the Japanese mafia, there's the Mexican mafia, there's the Irish mafia, and you just never hear the English mafia, but some people might say, well, that's what all of America is the mafia. Extortion. Terrorism. It's here in the United States. We don't need to go to the Middle East to experience terrorism. And terrorism doesn't mean that somebody straps a bomb to themselves and comes and blows up your cafe. Terrorism could mean that they shut your business down. Constantly threatened to shut your business down. That could be terrorism. It doesn't always have to end in death. It doesn't always have to end in explosion. That's the low grade terrorism. That's the basic terrorism that you have to do to communities that may not even have running water. That's the way you terrorize a community like that, like they do in Guatemala. A lot of those people don't even have running water. Electricity, they don't even have it. But they get terrorized by their own people. Terrorism isn't nothing new. There isn't any one group that are the only group that terrorizes. Terrorism happens in all groups, all around the world. You can go to China, there's terrorism in China. Russia, there's terrorism in Russia. There isn't any place that you go that there isn't terrorism of some sort. Some people would say, well, I beg to differ. You can go to Switzerland, or you can go to the Netherlands, or you can go here, or you can go there. You just don't see it, and it's done in a different way. Not all terrorism is done by strapping a bomb to you, walking into a cafe, and setting it off. It's not all done that way. Like I said, it's terrifying to know that, take the people in Detroit. They're being terrorized right now. If you've never had your water turned off, in America and you wake up and you don't have running water, believe me, that's terrorism. Yeah, it happens. They shut the water off. You don't know how much you are dependent on water other than drinking it. Other than drinking water that you actually are. And when somebody threatens to turn your water off, that's terrorism. You're terrified. And you get way past being embarrassed that you can't pay your bills when you don't have no water. It's terrorism. It happens. And it happens in the United States every day. That's why a lot of people say, hey, I don't know why we're doing this in Iraq when Detroit don't have any water. Thousands of people in Detroit are getting their water turned off because they can't pay their bill. And we're worried about Iraq. We're worried about Gaza. We're worried about Africa. And people in the United States don't have any water. California is under a drought, and we're worried about building more oil pipelines instead of pipelines that would carry water to California. No, we're over in Africa fixing Ebola. We're worried about what's happening between Israel and Gaza. ISA in Syria, and now in Iraq. But I guess if you want to take the sunny side of it, an airplane was, from all reports, forced to land in Iran. Who would have thought that Iran would have said, okay, everything's cool, adios, get your plane out of here, get the people out of here. 100 Americans were on that plane, 140 in total, but 100 of them were Americans. Coming from Dubai or one of them places over there. On their way to work, basically. On their way to work. And had always flown over Iranian airspace. That airplane company, that charter company, had an agreement with Iran that it could use its airspace. And it had worked for a while, and something went wrong. Wires got crossed, and that plane was told to land or it'd be shot out of the sky. And so it landed in Iran. Everything worked out. We just heard that the Ayatollah said that it was going to work with America to fight ISIL. The Ayatollah was going to do that. And so that's a good thing. The Iranian people are trained to hate America from birth. A lot of people in the Middle East are trained to hate America from birth. Hate Americans. Don't even know an American. But then again, in America, we're trained to mistrust the Muslim people. And anybody that looks like them. You might see somebody from India and think that they're a Muslim, and they're not. Just because, why? They look like them. They look like them, that must be them. Them. That must be them. And that's the way that the real world works. We learn who to hate. We learn who to mistrust. But you can't run around being this trusting society, not being aware of what's going on in the world and the possibilities of terrorism. And like I said, terrorism doesn't just come from the Middle East. It comes from all over. And happens in a lot of different ways. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm just talking. I got an hour to kill here. 39 minutes into it, and my coffee's getting cold. As we watch St. Petersburg, Florida, just going about their businesses. You see them people, them ladies, they got their purses and they got their money and their credit cards, and it's Saturday morning, and they're off, checking out St. Petersburg, Florida. This hippie right here, this guy with his long hair, red shirt, he's just checking out St. Petersburg, Florida. He's got his cutoffs on. You could tell more than likely he's a tourist, because why? He doesn't have a tan. native Floridians, or people who live in Florida, residents of Florida, will be tanned this time of year. That little kid there, yeah, they're not hard to watch, to see, to spot, to recognize. But they're not worried about ISIL or Hamas or any of the terrorist groups here in the United States or abroad. They're here to have fun, and they're here to get away from stress. And that's what I said, you can't just always be about what's going wrong. So I went into that chat this morning, and Amir, A-M-A-R, said I was wasting my time there. I don't waste my time. I don't have any time to waste. I just do stuff. I don't have an agenda. I just do whatever I want to do. And like I told him, if you own this channel, and if you feel that being on my site is a waste, let me know and I'll take you off. I put you on, I'll take you off. Let me know. But you better own the channel. Because you're not going to be some little chatter in a channel and think that you're going to say, well, I don't want to be on your site. Well, then don't go to that channel, because you're on my site, whether you like it or not. And like I said, I don't ask if I can put your channel on my site. It's a public channel, and I'm going to put you on if I want you on my site. You don't have to like it, but if you're the owner, and I am sure you're the owner, and we sit down and talk about it, and you feel that you don't want to be on my site, or if for some reason I don't like what you're allowing to happen on your channel, for instance, your mods are banning people just to get their IP address, or you're banning people that come to your channel just because of their name or their past, or somebody said something about them. So basically you have a closed chat. I'll take your channel off of our site, because people should be able to come and visit your channel. And if you don't want just anybody in there, well, then I don't want you on our site. I don't want to go all over like I do, telling people to come and visit just to find out they can't go visit. It's like inviting people to a party and not giving them the address. If people can't visit your site, your channel, and talk to you, well, then we don't need that on our site. We need them to be able to talk to you if you're going to be on our site. So that was my little experience with Omar this morning, and it just got me to thinking like that. So let me do something here, and let's see what this. Everything has sat for a while, so let's see how things are going to move. Gives me a chance to have a sip of my coffee and move things around, have a look at the site. Let me have a sip of my coffee. Folgers, simply smooth. So what we are looking at here is Occupy TV. That's Occupy TV. They come on right away. And of course that's us with the big red live on it. So here we have, this is that Christian channel that we just added. And I have been in there a few times, and they say hello, Artstarzz. Hello, Artstarzz. A lot of them say that, and some of the people that go visit this channel, are a bit concerned because, they're Christians, And, it's hallelujah, amen, praise Jesus. And, if you can't deal with that, don't. The chat isn't there, and all chats aren't for everybody. But the chats are there. So that my opinion is this, so that you can see something different. Add some spice to your life. Get in, test the water before you say that, you hate being wet. I'm not going in there. I've been wet before and it sucks. I don't want to go in the water. Don't make me go in the water. Don't make me see things I don't want to see. Well, don't come to artstarzz.com because we don't care. We don't care. We're going to show you stuff. Look at here. We've got dissenters over here, and we've got EV99 cussing. Having a party with cuss words. And who is EV99 mad at? Well, EV99 is either really mad at everybody, or EV99 is mad at Yvonne or Donald. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that ain't Donald. That's one of the things about a lot of these channels is that if that little pencil that you see right here, this little pencil, you could see me turning it off and on. You can see my arrow moving around there. If you see that little pencil, you log in with any name. You don't have to use your live stream login name and password. You just click on that pencil and then you can go in there as any name. So somebody right now is impersonating Donald1234, and if you just look at it, you'll think it's Donald1234, but it's not. If you look closer, you'll see it's Donald12345. So apparently somebody is having fun with the screen name or fun with Donald1234. And it may even be Donald1234. It was come in as Donald12345, and he's playing a trick on these people. But I don't take the channel off for that sort of thing. They're in there doing what they want to do. They're not hurting anybody. You don't have to watch this. You don't have to go in there. But if they're like, you go in, because I have the channel on the site, and I go around inviting people to come to the site by dropping my link, and you come in and you check, and then you click into this channel, and then they ban you for 5 minutes. Take a 5-minute break, but what they're doing is they're getting your IP address, which is, it's useless for anything, but it's cyber terrorism in my opinion. They're trying to terrorize you. They're trying to make you fearful. I take those channels off. Global Revolution was doing it. Gone does it. And Occupy Toronto does it. They're silly little people, taking your IP address. It's childish. It's useless. It's cyber terrorism. So, let's see. In the religious channel right now, they have 30 viewers. Sometimes, after a while, they'll be up to 200 and something. So if you're into that sort of thing, praise Jesus, hallelujah, amen, God bless you, and all that stuff, you can go in there. But like I said, if you want to go in there and have a discussion with them, a sensible discussion, then that's up to you. You don't have to be sensible. I'm just saying, you can get banned. And you aren't going to learn anything other than how stupid you look. But you can go in and try to have an intelligent conversation with somebody who's not like you. And that's what this site is about. Dealing with people who are not like you. If somebody wants to believe in God and you're an atheist, have a sit down with them and talk. Because after a while, atheists talking to atheists all the time can get awful boring. And pretty soon you start looking for somebody who has a different point of view. And just because, they believe in God doesn't mean they're not intelligent. Doesn't mean that they can't argue their point if arguing their point is what they want to do. Some people don't want to argue about what they believe in. They want to tell you what they think and give you the choice to decide if they're right or wrong. They're not going to argue about it. They're not going to entertain you just because you don't believe what they do believe. They're not going to entertain you. Some will, some won't. And you have to decide what it is you want to do. But these are the options that we give you right here on artstarzz.com. You can go and talk to them. Have a discussion. Handle the discussion the way you want. We don't get involved in how you talk or how you act or what you think. We're part of the information highway. That's who we are. I personally consider myself a witness. I'll talk to anybody. As a witness, I will talk to anybody. I've always said that. I'd sit down and talk to the devil if he'd stay still long enough, and I would have a conversation. I would give them the opportunity. I would give them the opportunity to make me understand why they think the way they think. I'm just not going to sit there and take it. I'm not going to be all gullible and say, well, you're saying it must be true. If I don't agree with them, I'm going to let them know. Or I'm going to get away from them. It's a conversation. So there's 30 people in that, and there are 5 viewers and dissenters. And right now somebody is having fun with Donald, and the F word is flying free in dissenters. You can go into dissenters and say whatever you want. Get as crazy as you want. Look at this person has just went LOL crazy. EV99 has been in dissenters since dissenters opened its channels, doing crazy stuff, calling people down, just being crazy. Yvonne is a moderator and a producer. Neither one of them people have been banned because that's the rule. No banning. And I'll tell you, it can test you. It can test you. It's kind of like allowing a child what to do, and when a child does whatever it wants to do, it can test you. So over in Dissenters 5, Crusader 1954 was up at 11:22 a.m. on a Saturday morning and dropping links. It's Crusader 1954's channel, and Crusader can and will do whatever Crusader wants to do in that channel. Because why? Crusader owns that channel. So here we go on down to artstarzz.com, and like I said, we're really not a chat channel. Of course, if somebody comes in there and starts to talk and I see it, I will talk to them. And then we've got our site chat, where I post a lot of news that comes on throughout the day. If I'm on the computer, I'll post it. And you can do the same. You can post links to videos, or you can post a picture or whatever. I do have, ban rules. I will ban you if you start posting crazy stuff in here, because that ain't what we're about. We're about free speech, but you got to be a little mature about it. You can't just come into either one of our channels or any of our channels and say whatever you want to. You can say whatever you think, but you're going to have to do it in an adult way. You can't come in and put a bunch of LOLs, because I will ban you and delete everything you just put there. But if you come in and you have an argument, you have a complaint about our site or what I say, you can call me up. There's a button right on the top of the screen. You can, when I'm talking live like this, and all you have to do is come in and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you. I'll turn my Skype on, and you can Skype me at Artstarzz, not artstarzz.com, just Artstarzz. My phone will ring on this end. If you just want to chat privately, you don't want to talk live, you can do that too. I have Skype. You got Skype? Give me a call. You don't like what I'm doing? Let me know. We'll talk about it. Not saying you're going to get what you want. Not saying I'm going to agree with you, but we can talk about it. I ain't afraid of you. Hope you ain't afraid of me. So OPN is in there doing their thing. Time Watcher is in there. JG is in there talking to Time. Is in there. That's the name. HMM. So that's OPN this morning. And then we have live on PT, which is where Omar was. Omar is still in there. Yeah. And like I said, if you own a channel and there's a reason you don't want to be on our side anymore, and like I said, it's something I'll consider. I don't care if you own the channel or not. You'll have to explain to me why you don't want to be here anymore. And if that's too much for you, don't bother me, because you're going to be on our side, like it or not. That's just the way it is. So that's my little tour through our live stream chats, the most active, where people are doing something. Ain't saying it's right, ain't saying it's wrong, but they're doing something. So let's go over here and see. This is our news channel, still up and flopping around like a fish out of water. I was checking this out, and it's not quite what I had in mind, but we're going to give it some time. There's a lot of this isn't really news; it's old information, but a lot of it is new. There's one out of Florida that was 3 hours ago. Another one out of Florida that was over a week old. So you can sift through them, and you might see stuff in here that you didn't know. And it's basically an information channel filled with all of these little widgets, news widgets from different parts of the country. I tried to get some parts of the world, and as you can see, Russia, they don't have any information. London, no information. I know there's shit coming out of Russia and London, but these people aren't talking about it. So that's just the way that works. It's not a real active site, although there's 6 unique visitors and 9 page views. Let's see. Somebody twittered out from there once, and no likes. So that's the way that page is working. Oh boy, breakfast just showed up. So I may let you oh well, my time is almost up anyway. I better do the weather real quick here while I can. Let's see if I can get the weather done real quick for you around the world, and let my breakfast take a little chill, and I'm going to call it an hour. So I managed to kill another hour on Saturday here at artstarzz.com. So not that I wake up saying, how can I waste everybody's time? But it's my time I'm wasting. It's my hour that I waste. And I've got an hour to waste almost every day. And I'll be wasting it here on artstarzz.com. So what I'm going to do is let this page load. And I'm staring at my breakfast. Smells pretty good. Won't tell you what I'm having, but I will tell you I'm getting ready to have breakfast, and it's lunchtime. Got up a little late this day. We slept in a little bit, and we can if we want to. So, I've been bumming around, and my internet is working a little slow this morning. It happens. I don't get all freaked out about it and start shutting things off and turning things on. But I've got 2 minutes to do the weather. Seattle, Washington, 65 degrees. Portland, Oregon, 62 degrees. Hayward, California, 63 degrees. Tokyo, Japan, 75 degrees. San Antonio, Texas, 82 degrees. Toledo, Ohio, 68 degrees. Los Angeles, California, 73 degrees. And Denver, Colorado is 56 degrees. St. Petersburg, Florida, 83 degrees. Corpus Christi, Texas, 82 degrees. San Francisco, California, 61 degrees. And Tampa, Florida, 83 degrees. Charlotte, North Carolina, 81 degrees. New York, 85 degrees. Santa Fe, New Mexico, 60 degrees. Santa Rosa, California, 56 degrees. Gaza, 82 degrees. Tel Aviv, 82 degrees. Jerusalem, 82 degrees. Hilo, Hawaii, 70 degrees. Rotterdam, Netherlands, 64 degrees. And Amsterdam, Netherlands, it is 64 degrees. And that's just my opinion. I'm Artstarzz. This is artstarzz.com. It is September 6th, 2014, and it is 11:56 a.m. Have a good day.